horsepower.
All right.
Hey, Dick Vitale has an all-bus team when you're on the road. Your top 5 most impressive, most intimidating players that get off the bus first. Who is our all-bus team?
Well, I would say first off, I've noticed when Brandon Pettigrew gets off with those dark shades, he's pretty impressive. Secondly, Russell O'Coon, our offensive tackle, who's now 6'6", 325, and the other day he did, and I know I messed this up because I don't know anything about bench press, as you can tell. He did, anyway, his total max for the bench press was over 500 pounds. And his arms are really long, which is unusual. When he gets off the bus, he's very impressive. Even though he's just going to be a sophomore, and I hate to give him a lot of credit, but when Des Bryant gets off the bus, he looks good, and he's very impressive. On the other side of the ball, Pat Levine at the linebacker spot is a guy that's been very impressive for us from getting off the bus. And not from a toughness standpoint, but more so from a productive and I guess probably the women would say from a glamorous standpoint, Zach Robinson's probably those guys I say would be up there. I don't know that if Zach would fit on Madden's off on the bus list, but
I think every Cowboy fan's goal is to see you holding up a national championship trophy in the next few years.
That's right.
But to do that, we're going to have to improve and get up our recruiting classes in that top 10 level in the nation. With the facilities we're building and how hard this coaching staff is working, how far away do you think we are of achieving those classes?
You know, recruiting is interesting because of the ratings, and we've had highly rated classes the last few years, and they've ended up being good classes. But at times you bring players in, for example, like Andrew Lewis, who's playing center for us now. Andrew Lewis's only college opportunity other than Oklahoma State was, I think it was Southeast Missouri or Southwest Missouri. And not to downgrade them, but he didn't have the other big BCS schools. He's going to be our starting center this year and is a good football player. But what I'm trying to get at is we have to bring the quality people in here, and every year we talk about this as a staff. If we can bring in 3 players a year that have an opportunity when they finish school to be evaluated by the NFL, then that means over a 4-year period, that'll be 12 players on our team that potentially could be good enough to play in the NFL. Well, if you have 12 players on your team that are good enough to play in the NFL, and then you have 73 players on your team, not counting walk-ons, that are doing the right thing, they're playing hard, they're laying it on the line every single snap, you're going to win a lot of football games and potentially win the Big 12 championship. And tradition shows if you win the Big 12 championship, you've got a great chance of playing for the national championship. And those are things that we talk about internally that we don't talk about a lot in public and out of the media because it's really not important. But we've been close with the way the chips have fallen the last couple of years to playing for a Big 12 championship. We've been really close. So, or I should say, playing for the South championship. If you win the South and you get in a one-game playoff for the Big 12 championship, anybody can win. And then you have a chance to play for the national championship. So it's not something that's unrealistic. But it starts with recruiting. And the facilities or the facility that's almost complete for us. And I was just telling this story about an hour ago today, was Gary Sparks, the architect, and his daughter, Jill, who is involved in the interior decorating of the new facility, which is a huge job because of all the square footage. And we've had numerous meetings with them over the last 2 years to try to make sure that we had the facility the way we wanted it, and double-checked and triple-checked and make sure we weren't wasting any space, make sure we weren't wasting any money, to do everything right for the student-athlete, to make sure it was perfect. The best facility in college football. Well, today I met with them for the first time in a long time, And I knew it was getting close because they want to talk about wood floors and furniture and carpet and tile. And my wife and I have built 3 houses together, and you know, that can cause a divorce in itself right there. And the third one, I told somebody earlier, I learned to just let her do whatever she wanted, and it worked out a lot better. But I knew we were getting close, but I looked out my office and saw the interior, the inside of the stadium, which I never envisioned that it would ever look that way. That, you know, we've had to listen to so many people talk about our stadium and how bad it is and how embarrassing it is. And those days are history. They're over. So, as much for the Oklahoma State people, the players, they're fired up about the stadium. They're fired up about the west end zone. They're fired up about those facilities. But the Oklahoma State people, the people out here in this crowd that wear orange, that fly the flags, that are proud to be a graduate of Oklahoma State University, you're the ones that should be fired up, because when you see it, now, the exterior and the inside of it, and then even 9 months from now when we move in the new building, you're going to be proud that you have arguably the best facility in all of college football for the first time ever. So how does that, that's something we can all be proud of. And it's going to tie into our recruiting, because starting in December and January for the 09 class, the facility will be close enough that we'll be able to walk those players and their families through there, and they're going to be able to see it for the first time. It's helped us in recruiting, but not like when they're going to be able to walk through there and see it. And, you know, I'm busting at the seams of what it's going to be like to recruit to that new facility. Because I'll be real honest with you, we've always had to hide stuff. We have. I mean, that's just the way it is. But we don't talk about it. It's the way it is. We hide a couple things, and we keep recruiting. Well, now we're going to show them everything we have. And we're very fortunate to have the facility, and it will be directly related with the success we're having on the field, the success we're having off the field and in the classroom and our facilities. And from top to bottom, we have the right people in place for Oklahoma State, in my opinion, for the first time in a long time, that are fully committed to doing it the right way for the long haul. And nobody wants to be more aggressive than me, nobody. But we also have to be a little patient, so we build it and do it the right way, so we can withstand it and we can maintain for a long time. That's just the way it is. There's no other way to candy coat it. In order to try to do things, for example, people say, well, you took 7 junior college players this year early. Well, we still took 19 high school players. So it wasn't like we didn't take high school players to develop the program. We had an unusual year where we had a large number of scholarships. So we brought some guys in that we thought could help us right away to improve our chances of winning more games the next year and still get a base of 19 to 20 high school players. Well, this year we only have 14, 15, 16 scholarships to give. So we don't have as many seniors. So we won't sign as many junior college players. We're not going to go out and sign 15 junior college players and try to make it happen right away, and then 2 years from now be digging ourselves out of a hole because we don't have any depth in our football program. So what the Oklahoma State people need to know is there's nobody from top to bottom that's more committed to us doing what's important for the student athletes on and off the field. There's nobody that understands that we want to win, we want to win right away, and that we have a tremendous plan in place that we haven't come off of in the 4 years that we've been here on our coaching staff. You know, we haven't lost a coach on our staff other than to be a head coach or a coordinator. There's been no lateral moves off our coaching staff. That's not ever happened before. And that's not because of Coach Gundy. That's because there's been a commitment from the administration from the top down that understands the continuity in the staff. And you can't lose coaches. And so for the first time ever, we keep coaches. Our coaches don't want to leave. They enjoy Stillwater. We pay them the way we should pay them. They love the Oklahoma State people. They come to Stillwater. They get a feel for who we are in our environment. They're happy. Their kids are happy. So they stay. So that's an advantage. There's so many things that are moving in the right direction. And what we have to do as a group, since this is a political year, I'll give you my political point of view. Here's what we have to do as a group. and I said this a little bit last year, but it's more so now than ever. We have to believe in it. We have to wear our orange. We have to wear our shirts. We have to fly our orange flags. And when people ask you or say that it can't happen, we tell them, yeah, it can happen. And it will happen because it's going to take everybody. But just remember that the people that are making the decisions down there that you're putting your trust in, we don't have any question in our mind that's going to happen. And our players feel that way. So don't doubt that for 1 second. Be proud that you have orange. Stand up. Be proud you're going to have the best facilities in the country. And our coaching staff and our players are going to do everything within our capability to put the team on the field every Saturday that has an opportunity to win. I don't care who we play. Our football team's not scared of anybody. Not scared of anybody in the country. So that I can guarantee. Dave, I'll take one more question if you want.
One more? Well, this young man's waited very patiently, so you get to be the last one. No pressure.
Coach, are you 41 yet?
No. No. I wasn't going to bring that up. Just because I really feel like there's so many other things that are important. You know, there's been so much talk about that. I mean, golly, people actually care about that. And then I saw that picture up there, and that's kind of the same way I looked in that press conference for a second. I thought, they must have got that, and then I thought, well, I didn't have it on. But no, I will be in about 14 days, I will be. But, you know, and I guess that he's about 12. You know, when you get to my point, you really don't look forward to birthdays. But I do have a two-a-day on that birthday, like always, so I'm fired up about that.
Hey, Coach.
Yes.
I've got someone over here who tells me they have the perfect ending question. I'm over here to your right, and I have a hard time saying no. So do you mind one more? Is that okay?
I'm Oklahoma State people.
Okay, here we go. So, okay.
When we're beating OU 21-0, and we score another touchdown, are you going to go for two just to rub it in?
There's your true OSU fan right there.
Yeah.
Good. I tell you, or fake the PAT. That'd even be better, wouldn't it? So that's a great question.